And let me go. It's preparing.
It says it's being live
Yep.
streamed. I had to agree.
Oh, does it?
Got it.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, welcome everyone to this edition of DIY INcension. I am so excited because
I know you too.
I'm joined by my teammates, Lisa Flamino Rush and Chris J. Welcome, ladies.
Yeah. Hey.
Happy to be here.
This is our first DIY INcension live together as our new team. However, we are streaming on my Sassy Seer Sheila channel still and yet. Partly because we will be able to begin going live at New Light streaming love on YouTube tomorrow. So please do. I'm going to make sure to put a link in there. I want to take a moment and share this out too, guys. Bear with me just a moment.
I'll do the same.
Yeah, I'd like for us to be able to share this and have everybody come and join us. Live now. Oh my goodness. This tablet takes forever to do anything. Well, and it's been quite some time since we've all been together and had a DIY INcension. Yeah. And of course, now I can't see anything or get anything to cooperate in any sort of shape, manner. I didn't lose you two, did I?
No, I'm here. I'm sharing it out.
Okay. All of a sudden, I cannot get this tablet. So if you're joining us live, bear with us. This has been a minute, and Zoom has changed so much.
I know. Everything is changing so fast, I can't keep up.
No, this is true. Not to mention, it seems like all of a sudden the internet has sort of freaked out a little bit.
Uh-oh.
At least over here. Okay. Well, I do see us live.
Okay.
On our well, weird enough, my phone is logged into New Light. My phone is logged into New Light, and I can see our live chat at Sassy Seer Sheila. So that's kind of interesting. Right. So I'm going to welcome everyone there, and I'm going to, because if you're joining us, I don't have the ability to pin that at the top, I don't think, because of the two different channels. But that's our link for the new channel. So be sure to click on that and subscribe over at New Light Streaming Love, because that's where we will be doing all of our things going forward. And we have quite a bit over there already, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Crystal's really been hard at work putting things up for us over there. So thank you for that, Crystal.
For sure.
And we've got a whole lot more coming. So I mean, I don't even know. This is kind of different because I have not been around in quite some time on my channel, on our channel. And so I feel a bit off, for one thing. You know, it's not like just, I'm back in the saddle kind of thing, right? It doesn't feel quite like that, but Um, it feels closer than it has at any time when I've sat in this seat to try to do anything in front of the camera, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good news.
Yeah. It kind of feels like fresh and new, like dipping your toes into something new, but like I'm seeing the imagery of like walking all the way into the water now.
Yeah, the deep end is coming
Yeah.
for me. Yeah. Sometimes I felt in over my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, because the three of us, we haven't recorded anything, but we've kind of kept up with each other a little bit better than, the average. But even so, not there's things that have gone on in Lisa's life, and we live in the same household, and things that have gone on in mine that I'm well aware that neither one of us are aware of.
Mhm.
Well, because it seems like things go so fast.
No, I know. I'm laughing because I can't even keep up with my own self. I know it. I oddly understood what you were saying there.
Right?
Yeah, I can hardly keep up with myself. Yeah.
Well, I was floored. I don't know, probably 2 weeks ago now. I don't even know. Time is so weird for me at this moment. You both know that I pay. There's a reader on YouTube that, for whatever the reason, that gal has got my energy like no other, especially with my moon sign. Whenever she does reading for my moon sign, which is Sagittarius. Now she's been really on it for Libra as of late too, and when this last one said something about here but not here, you've been here but not here, and I have used that terminology more times than not in this entire year for myself, because that is exactly how I have felt.
Yeah.
I know I'm here, but I'm actually also not here. And I'm experiencing multiple I'm just going to call them Mandela effects. People would recognize them as Mandela effects. They're personal Mandela effects that, okay, I'm a science fiction freak. Okay. I mean, every Star Trek, Farscape, Serenity, Stargate, anything like that that was on regular TV or science, the Sci-Fi Channel, I was aware of it because I wanted to see it. I've discovered two different Gene Roddenberry series that I know for a fact were not in my timeline. No way. Not at all. And the weirdest thing to me is that the two people that I know in my life that are not at all science fiction fans on any sort of level, they remember those shows being on.
Isn't that funny?
That is, and I'm sorry, there's just, I'm sorry, you are not going to tell me that these folks who never cared to watch any of it, never read a science fiction book, couldn't know who Robert Heinlein was if he walked up and slapped him in the face. But they knew about those Gene Roddenberry series. And I don't know, just there's so many synchronicities about the way that I feel like I've been being led in regards to making myself aware of things, but more puzzle pieces. Would you guys how's it been going for you guys? Are you seeing multiple puzzle pieces come your way?
The synchronicities not so much, but me and my oldest daughter have had quite a few experiences with, I know, timeline shifts, and they have been so rapid. And that's probably why, like, we feel like time is just so compressed right now. Everything's just flying by. I had a thought a minute ago before I tell you the little story that happened, but I had a thought a minute ago about you kind of being here, but not here. I almost felt like, you know how we talked about before how Lisa usually anchors things and how you amplify that sort of thing. And I
Yeah.
almost feel like roles are kind of being experimented with at this point. Like I felt a really, I don't want to say heavy because that sounds like a negative connotation to it, but like a heavy emphasis on you being some sort of anchor, whether that's just for you personally, trying to anchor in a certain timeline or what that was. But I had the imagery of us, you know, playing our parts that day in that whole experience that we had, and how you're now kind of doing this anchor type of thing. So you're here, but you're not here, but you're here, trying to anchor that energy in, trying to anchor, you know, a specific timeline in.
Yeah,
Um, the
That makes a lot of
experience.
sense to me.
it does. Yes.
Let me tell you what's been happening around here. So,
Oh, please.
you know, I've had stories over the years to share with you guys about, you know, little things that's happened around the house that I'm like, you know, I know for a fact it was a timeline jump. And it just seems like things are amping up, and they're amping up so much that they're so relevant, like they're so in your face. It's not, you know, it's not anything that you can deny, you know what I'm saying, or put an excuse to, or brush it off and say, oh, you know, that couldn't have happened.
Right.
But and then you got somebody else in the scenario as well that's saying, no, I experienced it this way, or I, you know, had this or that. So anyways, I went to the grocery store. I bought these delicious, oh my God, I talked about these apples for days. They
Oh,
were
okay.
so good. It was Honeycrisp apples, and they were just, oh my God, they were so good, right?
I've been experiencing that lately myself.
And I bought four of them, okay? And they
Okay.
were in a bag on the counter. And, you know, I ate two of them. My daughter, my youngest daughter ate one, and my oldest daughter ate one. Well, here's two things that happened during the span of like 4 days with this particular thing that I was very focused on because they were just so delicious. All right. So maybe like 3 days later, my daughter, my oldest daughter, she says, you need to get some more of those apples that you bought last time. And I was like, oh, yeah, I do. I'm about to go to the store now and get some, right? And she was like, yeah, make sure they're the same ones. And I'm like, I know exactly what they were. And she said, yeah, the green ones. And I'm like,
Oh,
no. Those were not green apples. Like they were a very light red with a little bit of yellow, you know, hue at the top of them. And I'm like, no green in those apples whatsoever. And she goes on to say, no, they were green. And she ate one of those green apples, and I know I didn't buy any more. Like, you know. So, anyways, we had a whole conversation about that. And coming from her mouth, now my 16-year-old, she said, well, I guess I came from the other timeline then. And this isn't something that we like talk about. You know, me and my sister have a lot of conversations about it, but it's usually when it's just me and her. Like it's not something we go on about in front of like the kids or anything like that. So to hear her say that, you know what I'm saying? That, well, it's just me from another timeline then. And it was like so nonchalant, so matter of fact, you know what I'm saying? And so anyways, I didn't wind up going to the store that day. But we wake up the next morning and four beautiful, delicious red and yellow Honeycrisp apples sat on my counter in the same type of produce bag of the place that I buy them from. Four, like I had bought originally, was sitting right there on the counter. I didn't go to the store. So what?
Wow.
what do
Okay.
you manifested apples? You say.
Manifested apples. But here's my thing. Now, I made a recording earlier of this, and I posed this question. I don't
Okay.
want to go into full detail in it because it is an episode that's going to come out. But just think about this. we say all the time how we're creating our own reality, or we're manifesting in a sense. And I'm like, after that experience right there, I'm like, which I guess one person could say it's one and the same, but I'm like, is it more so that we are aligning to the timeline where that can happen rather than, because when people say you're creating your reality, I think of like matrix type stuff where you think of the $100 bill and all of a sudden it comes in like an illusion, and it's built there. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
falls into place for you to find it. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what
Like
most everybody thinks.
you
Yeah.
are creating it, and that's just kind of how I've always took it, not giving too much thought into like how we actually create our reality. But having gone through this experience, I know my dog is whining. I'm gonna have to take a break in a moment. Having gone through this experience, it kind of made me see this in a new light. That's like, hold on, the things that we're feeling and dreaming of and wanting and desiring and getting into that particular frequency to actually manifest that. What if we're attaching or connecting to that frequency in that specific timeline to where that thing is, or that we can bring it in? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it just opened up a whole new thought process on the whole manifest and create your reality thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna take him out real quick. Sorry.
Okay. No worries.
Yeah.
No worries. Well, the thing that I wanted to share, Chris has already heard, and you have too, but it really brought it to mind for me too, because we had Lisa, myself, and Albert had a very similar situation, real time, with a guacamole bowl. Remember that?
Yeah.
Because and quite frankly, who's to say that because I feel as though both there's more than one possibility, plausibility, potentiality that took place in this story that Crystal shared, for me anyway. Having our experience of the guacamole bowl, where Albert wanted spicy, you wanted mild, and I wanted no
I
spicy.
wanted medium.
Medium, and I wanted mild, right? And the little guy at the table side's like, well, I'll do my best.
That's exactly what he said. Like, okay, you people are crazy.
Right? All in one bowl. We'll see what we can do.
Okay.
But lo and behold, it was, Stacy Watchell has joined us. Lovely for you to be here, Stacy. I did a welcome, Stacy, at the top so that everyone can see the New Light Streaming Love channel. Please do go up there and subscribe. That would be great. We're hoping to be able to start streaming from that channel very soon, like tomorrow. So, I mean, I think that, yes, it's a plausibility, possibility, potentiality of how we're doing it, whether it is because it feels it all those puzzle pieces really are pointing to the fact that we do create it, and how we create it exactly. But focus, attention, intention, and intensity of that focus into the presence, I think, has a lot to do with it.
Well, you know what came to my mind when she was telling her story, and then her conclusion mostly was that I'm a huge fan of listening to Bashar, and he used to say, choose the reality you prefer, right?
Yep.
Well, you remember my stories of being in car accidents where I felt like time slowed down, and it was like little what on film, what remember those old,
The frames.
yeah, like a film strip.
Mm-hmm.
That's the word I was looking for. Where it was just frames of pictures, and time had slowed down to the point where I was actually looking at freeze framed of the potential endings, right? So a scenario is starting, and then I could choose the outcome that I preferred, because I literally was like scrolling through them in my mind's eye. Nope, don't want that, not that, not that, not that, that one. And the minute I stopped and like chose one of them, the accident went back into real time. And that's exactly what happened. Like it played out to that ending. And so I do think that every moment you're presented with a thing, there's some reality somewhere where that is, like you said, the potentiality is there. And so you can choose the timeline, the ending. Let's just say it that way. You choose how this event ends. And that came to mind immediately when she was talking about how you create, either it just manifests in front of your eyes, or are you choosing from a timeline or a potential event line where that was the outcome? Like perhaps, oh, and now I'm hearing Wayne Dyer. I remember reading a book where he talks about that, about instant manifestation. And he said, he was talking about that you have to line up to the reality where it's here in front of you now. Because he talked about, you know, how we think, oh, I want a sundae. And so you could get up and go into the kitchen and make yourself a sundae. Or, you know, these were the ways that we manifest now. Or you could ask somebody, could you bring me a sundae? Or you could align yourself to um, having it here without you doing anything. You know, you don't have to ask for it. You don't have to get up and go get it. You don't have to call and order it delivered, but that you choose the reality where it's in your hand already. So I think that's kind of what was coming up for me on that. And I feel like this here and not here thing too is that I feel like I've been sort of leaping between timelines, even. Like one day I wake up and I sort of have a particular trajectory for the day. And then all of a sudden it's like I've jumped out of that one and into this one. And they're happening really quickly. And it's almost like there's just really tiny small things that show it to me, like something, you know, misplacing an object. You say, no, I just set it down here. But I think those, for me, and you go back for it, right, and it's not there, and then a half an hour later, or even for me, weeks or days later, there it is. I feel like that's sort of jumping between timelines. Ooh, and I'm on a roll here. One more thing. I had this feeling of closing down timelines, if that makes sense, when I was having a series of dreams. And I feel like the me in those dreams died. And then that wisdom from the experience of that me on that timeline, choosing that particular path and having that particular outcome, is tucked away inside of me now. Like when she left, it all imploded into me. And I kind of had a theory at that time that basically the best timeline potential for me, for my soul's experiencing, is the one where my consciousness resides. So if that makes any sense, so that like all the potentials are there. And as I'm choosing in each moment, every moment of now, and you know, I'm choosing by my thoughts and my actions and the things I'm saying and walking toward, it's like I can seamlessly go between really close timelines, but sometimes it's a really big jump. And that's when I feel like I'm missing things, because that day was so different in this other reality. But as these realities, coalescing, that's a better word. I feel like they're all coalescing now into the highest potential. because I have been focused more and more on choosing the highest potential. Like I've been trying to be very present in the now moment, which is another reason why I think we feel here and not here, and time is wonky, because the more present you are in this moment, the more fluid you are in this moment, meaning the more power you have to control the outcome, the less tied I am to any one outcome. That changes the whole trajectory of the day. I don't know, but I just feel like our consciousness is way more fluid than I've allowed myself to entertain. And the more I entertain that, the more I'm experiencing it, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah.
Made perfect sense to me, because I really, the whole here and not here, experiencing other realms
Simultaneously.
the simultaneous.
Yeah,
Yes.
everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
That's real, isn't it?
No, it really is. Sometimes dizzyingly so. That's why I said, if anybody asks me, what have you been doing all day?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure. I mean, honestly, I know if I know that there's within my own personal sphere, my field, this physical vessel, I am in a different physical vessel again. I do know that. So when you were sharing about the timeline thing, I really do feel you're right about that. I've had that experience more than once, where you just know some of them are very similar, and but some are not. And I too have been practicing active presence is all I can say. Which does it's different, because I'm noticing for myself active presence. I think that's also part of here and not here, if that makes any sense in some ways, because I'm not thinking about things in the past or things in the future, or I got to do this and then I got to do that, and then this is next. It's not that at all.
Right.
You actually, I picked it up, Lisa, when you were speaking on it there. It is it's just it's a different type of presence. I don't know how to explain that.
Yes.
That fluid pit that you said is very very true. And that also for me melds nicely now with, what I have always said about, if you want to know what your purpose is, follow your highest joy in each moment that presents itself. It will show itself to you. I just can't feel any other way about that. Stacy said, someone asked me recently and I did the same thing. What did I do? LOL. Yeah, it's very interesting. Well, and there's just, it feels to me that it's a very multi-dimensional moment for those who are practicing presence, and paying attention to themselves and the puzzle pieces around them. I feel like it is anyway. I know, again, time is so weird, and I haven't been here and had a chat like this in quite some time, but I do know that a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, whatever, for all I know, it could be 2-3 months, but I recently heard Magenta Pixie speak to the fact that the 9 said to her that the human brain right now is forming the synapses that will assist in understanding multidimensionality, which I get it. Multidimensionality it's a different way of thinking. It is not a tit for tat, because that's not how this works.
No,
It's not a
not
seesaw.
linear.
Yeah, no, not on any sort of level. And so, and I think I feel like that's smack on, that they are right, that our brains, our synapses are changing in that respect. I just got a huge confirmation about that in my own head just now.
Yeah.
That
Well,
was cool.
I'm thinking about those shows, Sheila. So we've been watching the shows that Sheila was referring to not being in her reality. And I cannot help be just amazed by the synchronicities because, well, first of all, the timing of them coming in, as far as conversations that Sheila and I may be having, conversations I'm having just with myself and my internal guidance. And particularly where it comes to multidimensional thinking and how I have been experiencing things that are old stories in my own life in a completely brand new way. And this whole reaching through time and space stuff, because this is all, it's multidimensional in that there's only one eternal moment of now. So all of our past experiences and all of our future experiences, everything, everywhere is happening all at once. And so when you can hold that thought, but be in the center, like right in the middle, so you're not focused on any one point in particular, but just present, you can access anything, all of that. And I had been doing it for a super long time. I just didn't see it was me. and then we get these shows and they're really describing it in such a way, like they're, portraying it so that you can see it on the screen as I'm trying to work it out. I feel like that's more of that, what the 9 told Magenta is that however it is that I need to see it or hear it to understand it, only my soul knows, because my soul's been with this sweet little body from the moment it took its first breath and knows exactly what experience to draw upon or what story or picture to drop into my mind, like the way that only I could grok it, right? And I love it when it's the TV, it's my best friend, it's my husband, it's my daughter. Like every source is talking to me through everything again. And it's just, I don't know, that is such, it makes me feel so excited to be alive right now. Like I feel like I'm waking up, and I know that I would have told you, that I woke up a long time ago, but it's really it's a process of waking up. And the more that I hold that open, that I am waking up, the faster more is being revealed to me, to know in this moment. And it is just exciting. I feel like a baby. I mean, literally, just some days I just sleep, eat, and poop. That's it. Like, but it's so rewarding and so fulfilling in a way that I haven't felt since I was an infant. I don't know. I remember Jasmine used to say to me, I don't want to grow up. I want to be a kid forever. And she would cry. And I'd be like, Jasmine, of course you want to grow up. And I was a kid who was too fat. I just wanted to grow up. That's it. I didn't want to be a kid. I was tired of being a kid. And now I have that desire to be that innocent child and see the world as completely brand new, not have any ideas or shove things into, you know, um, belief systems or judge everything based on some past traumatic experience, but to just hold it as brand new and a potential for fun and discovery. I don't know. That's been my day.
Well, like I said, it's been this. I want to, first of all, too, not first of all, but I just want to reiterate actually how grateful I am to the two of you for doing this with me this evening. I, I don't know. It's been so different. I feel much more myself in this moment than I have in a while, especially, uh, I have sat down in front of the camera to come on, and I don't know. I just I couldn't make myself do it. I don't know what that was, right? So, and because I'm only going to do what brings me joy, I wasn't going to force it, and I wasn't going to be upset with myself about it either. And I haven't been. I'm just noticing it and moving along, right? Because I know I keep being shown, and I keep being shown it's not just for me, it's for all of us. No matter what our opinion is of our trajectory, our path, whatever it is we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
I'm finally, honestly, I got it. I get it. I don't think we can make mistakes. It's our opinion if we think we've made a mistake on something because maybe we're suffering in some sort of way that we want to hold it as a mistake. I get that because I've done a lot of that. I've also done a lot of turning around and seeing where something I held as a mistake turned out to be the best damn thing I could have ever done for myself, because had I not made that mistake, then I wouldn't have figured out this thing over here that had really been griping my ass for a really long time, but I just couldn't see until I made this god awful mistake. So I'm really getting to see that I have opinions about stuff that, guess what? Ain't not exactly always going to be right either. Just because it's my opinion in that moment doesn't necessarily mean it's correct, or that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's my perspective of that moment and whatever. So I am seeing and being shown for myself all over the place where I don't think we can make mistakes. That's just an opinion that we're going to hold about ourselves and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because that which animates this physical vessel, I know with all of me, has this perfectly in hand at this point. I feel that with all of me, and so I know I haven't been around a lot, and I'm not quite sure what the reason for that is. I do know that there's a huge influx of change in me, for me. Uh, I'm not the only one. So, you know, as I wobble around on those new Philly type legs, getting the hang of whatever it is I think I'm doing in this moment of now, because it could be different in 5 minutes from now. And I'm going to be okay with that because it's still a lot of fun, right? There's been a lot of weirdness this year for me, but also a lot of wonder, a lot of synchronicity, a lot of me showing me things about me and this reality that I can't unsee
Oh,
on any sort of level.
yeah.
Oh, Coincidence Cafe has joined us. Hello, ladies. Just got here. So glad to see you're back online, Sheila. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I know you're not the only one. So thank you for that. Be sure, Coincidence Cafe, to go up and subscribe to New Light Streaming Love. I put it as a welcome at the top of this. That is where we will be streaming from. I will still have this channel as well, but most of what the three of us will be doing, and many, many more. We hope we'll be doing that. And you can also find us at New Light Streaming .love online too, where you can get access to both Crystal and Lisa's blog. Eventually, Conscious Conversation Central's blog will be there when I, give up this whole I can't write thing and go actually do something. I actually, yeah.
The fact that you think you can't write means you're a terrific writer.
Well, my guidance has come up several times over the course of this last little bit and asked about when do I think I'm going to get off of my rear end and do the book that I know that I know has already been written.
That's right. Well, and I've read your writings and they're beautiful. And as soon as you acknowledge that, they'll come.
I don't know. It's just I'm such a perfectionist. Whenever I do sit down to write, it takes me forever. And because also I don't know what it is, but I think so much faster than my fingers can type. And so yeah. So I don't know. That's a whole bunch of excuses too. I just heard that in my head. So, hey, there's that. But yeah, so I want to say that there's been a lot of physical stuff involved in all of this multidimensional stuff. For me personally, I shared on the channel earlier on, and it might have not been on. I got so damn many channels, and I talk so damn much to anybody that'll listen. So I don't know who I've told, but the deal is that it's not necessarily pain, but I know whenever I ask the questions, I am getting that yes, there are parts of this body that are dying and parts that are being born. Not reborn, mind you, although I have had that too, but born. And I wanted to share this with you guys. I don't know if we shared this with you, Crystal, but Lisa knows. I have a family member who had to go to the emergency room for kidney pain or pain in the back, whatever. They found a huge kidney stone. They were going to do surgery right away. Only so prepped and ready to go, and the anesthesiologist said, "Are you aware you have a heart condition?" No. Well, you do, and we can't do surgery. You have ladies and gentlemen, hang on to this, a normal, abnormal heart rhythm. Okay, anybody else out there going to ask? My very first question is, what the hell is a normal, abnormal heart rhythm? Yeah, so and it apparently is going around. So that's why it's normal, abnormal. It's going around so much that they couldn't get this family member in to be seen by a heart specialist for several weeks. So what they're doing with the kidney stone, I mean, I'm just like shocked by some of the things that I'm hearing in regards to what is happening with physicality. And I have this suspicion that there's a lot more than what the theories are about different things that have happened in just the last few years. I don't think it's all that because of the messages I've gotten, the messages I know Lisa has gotten. The human vessel is changing right before some doctors' eyes. And I don't know that they all know what to make of it. Hence, normal, abnormal. I just learned that the normal rate of blood pressure has changed. Either that or I'm on a new timeline because used to be 120/80 was perfect blood
Over
pressure.
70. Well, when I was in training to work in
it was 120/70.
Yes, that was the normal, healthy. That's what you were to look for, expect. And then
I knew it wasn't
they
good.
bumped up that bottom line to 80 and the top one to 140.
Okay, so I knew 80 was at the bottom somewhere in there, but so I know that. Okay, so what? Now everybody's blood pressure is a little bit higher, so now we're just
I
going to
think
see
that's what they're
normal?
saying. It's the normal, abnormal blood pressure now. I don't know. Well,
Right,
hey,
which could
that with clothing numbers too.
right.
A size 8 used to be one particular size, and now it's much bigger than it once was.
Right. Well, and it depends on the manufacturer too, I noticed.
Yeah. See, we accommodate.
Well, I just, because I feel as though that kind of goes along in line with what we're talking about, what this topic is, DIY INcension. For those of you that are new to the channel or have not ever heard that term before, I did steal that term from a young lady who has her own YouTube channel. Oh gosh, what was that gal's name? Ireland. Well, no, not Ireland.
Yeah.
Was it Ireland? Ireland Clark. That's right. Thank you. Ireland Clark. I just heard it in my head. Thank you. I'd like to give her credit. I have always said this show used to be called DIY Ascension. And I always said that just don't sound right because we got more than yes, it's not, it just didn't seem correct because it's more than a rising in frequency. For me, I also saw it as a descending of my higher self more into my physicality or something of that manner. So I like DIY INcension. That's what she coined. And I really think that's so because I myself have had several now integrations of other fractals of me that have presented themselves in meditation, in altered states of being, and have actually physically integrated with my physical body. I've felt it. They were and are a part of me, and I know that in some ways, I feel like I saw something I wanted to bring forward here. It was about beliefs today. It was a brilliant meme. I have a friend on Facebook that I've been trying to, he too is a writer, and I would love to have him come and chat with us. He put a meme out that said, I don't have to respect your beliefs. I'll respect your right to hold those beliefs, but the beliefs themselves command no inherent respect, which is absolutely true because personally, beliefs, in my opinion, now are just that they're actually opinions formed based on one's perspective of all the experiences of which a person has had in their lifetime. And no other being, even your core beliefs, I have found that you think because you were raised with these people and you just know them, you find out that it's slightly different It's not even identical with the belief. You know, it's like, oh, I went right there with you all till we got to that piece right there, and I can't go no further. Right? That sort of thing. So, um, yeah, it's made things interesting and easier for me to see that nothing has to be set in stone, because I don't think it is. I think we've uh, solidified a lot of things because that's what we were told they were: solid, believable. This is how this goes, and that sort of thing. And now I'm being shown all over the place where, oh, wait a minute, not so much.
Yeah, as a creator being, you got to be careful with beliefs because beliefs create structure. So
Exactly. So
it's
that's
so.
how we create. That is a structure that from a foundation to allow the creation to sit upon.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Thank you, Lisa. That was really profound.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm in the process of letting my beliefs go.
Me
And
too.
that's harder than it looks. Because I believe I did so. And then I discover I was wrong.
Well, because I keep being shown where a lot of the beliefs that I have are based on a whole shit ton of assumptions
Yes.
of stuff that, again, that I've always thought were true, but really was it?
And sometimes it's other people's assumptions for me
Yes.
that I've adopted as my own. So I have no hand in even creating that belief. And I just went right along with it. And then I created my experience of that, whatever it is I was believing in. Yeah.
So, this is going to be something that we're going to be doing a lot more often, I'm hoping, with our DIY INcension. I'd like to put this out to, all who feel they might like to contribute to the conversation. And this actually came for me a little earlier, Crystal, when you were sharing about how your daughter came to you and said, that must have been her in a different timeline, and never missed a beat about it, right? And she's not really been exposed to that. Well, she's been exposed to it in your field. And I noticed about a month ago when my son walked in the house here and told me to carry something around in my field for a while. I kind of thought, wait a minute, what? See, when we walk around with you said something to me that has stuck, by the way. Crystal, you said to me one day that I walk my talk, right? Because you've seen me out in public, you know how I behave with complete strangers, and I'm just me. This isn't a persona on TV for everybody. No, this is just, this is just Sheila. This is how I am. That's the way it is. And I think, well, first of all, people can feel that. And I think that when we do that, we carry that stuff around in our field. That's part of why all of this kind of conversations, chats like this is important, because we pull it out of the realm of being hidden and we put it into the field where it's available for everyone. And we make it commonplace to say these things, these words.
Yep.
It's not, woo woo and crazy talk. It's real. It's every bit as well as solid as you think this glass is, right? Because that's about, for me anyway. And I wanted to say that I feel as though that's what drives me. That's what brings me joy, is the talking about these sorts of things. Because the more we do it, the more I'm out with a random stranger and I see a puzzle piece and I call their attention to it. Oh, I don't care if they think I'm a crazy old lady. What do I care?
Mhm.
I called a puzzle piece to their attention. And they might think I'm crazy, but they ain't gonna forget about that puzzle piece. You know what I mean? So that's why I want to say to anyone who sees this, if you are interested in having these sorts of conversations, hit us up. We got new light streaming love at gmail.com. I'm beginning to gear up Conscious Conversation Central again. So there will be, and I want to do panels. I want folks that want to talk about these things. The only real requirement here is an open mind, an open heart, and not to think you know it all, because I'm going to tell you right now, you don't. Because I used to be the world's biggest know-it-all. And I can tell you, and I kind of like it that way now, because I realize that it's a hell of a lot more fun, by the way, being shown this new, not just new, but the wondrous connections of it all. I'm convinced when we slow ourselves down just a little bit and really come to presence. I don't know how to say it any other way than that, but being present with no thoughts of this, that, and the other. That's where all the good juju lie.
Mhm. Just being
Right.
here now.
Yeah. Wow. Was there anything else that you guys wanted to share? I see I've kept us here. I don't know if that's the right clock timing on the clock I see there, but
So I'm feeling a need. I don't know if there's somewhat, because there's people, that watch and tune in and listen that are on all different parts of their journeys, and I feel
mhm.
like there's a need to say that if you're kind of hesitant about reaching out, wanting to, you know, find a safe space to where you can come and talk about the things that you're experiencing and stuff like that, because you don't really have someone, that you can actually do that with, but you're kind of having these experiences, and you have this push and this drive to actually speak about those things with other people. This is a safe space. Don't hesitate to reach out. Like, we're totally here for you and want to hear about your experiences too. So, yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, and listen, I used to be a real stickler for wanting folks to appear on camera and have it all recorded and put out there. And I'm not as rigid about that sort of thing anymore. The truth of the matter is, because, well, I, I don't know. I just feel like no one is reaching out to me that's not supposed to be, because that's just the way it goes for me. And I feel like that will happen for everyone. And I don't know if that made any sense at all, but um, it has something to do with me for the transparency that I hold myself to. So beings who are not ready to see themselves generally don't reach out to me because that's just what I carry in my field, right? But without these two ladies having been here for me through a lot of what I moved through, because that's one thing I've also been very clear about. These channels have been all for me. I've never made that a secret. It's the best, I don't know, psychotherapy I've ever had in my life, because my life is the best it's ever been. I made that statement before, I think either on Corona, I think it was Corona Rising, where this is really 12-year-old Sheila's bedroom where I'm talking to the mirror most of the time, you know. Um, so, but yeah, because some of these things that happen or that flash in do seem a little different. But I do feel like a lot is happening that is very similar for many beings. You know,
Yeah.
I read something from the Leo King the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, he was talking about being contacted by himself in the future. Well, that's exactly what's happened to myself. I know that's what has been described for Lisa as for part of her team. So, you know, everybody's getting very similar information for themselves. And, you know, I don't know. I love that you said it in that way, Crystal. So thank you for bringing that forward. It is a safe spot, and it doesn't necessarily have to be recorded and put out there either. I want to be, well, we actually do. We have book groups and support groups that we've started, conversation groups. And, you know, we would love to hear from you if that's something that you're interested in. So, new light streaming love at gmail.com, or you could just go to new, and it's KNEW, new light streaming dot love is the website. I love that that was available for our website.
I know, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that we've got a lot coming up, and for those of you that are joining us on the podcast, right? Because this is we are also on Spotify. I want everyone to know you can now get these on Spotify, and all of the books that I've been putting on video will also be available on Spotify, and you know, everything that we're doing on, I guess, right, is going to be available over there too.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of links, so
Yeah. All of them.
yeah, so Crystal's been real busy setting all that stuff up for us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, thanks guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I think I am going to do a live tomorrow morning on Sassy Seer Sheila for myself. I'm going to start reading again. I'm going to do some readings again, and yeah, I'm gonna see how that feels, and we'll see how that goes. So if you're around in the morning, guys, come on back, and I'll do a collective for the day and see what we get. Ladies, thank you for coming and chatting up with me.
Thank you.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun. It was great to be back in community. I'm loving this.
Yeah, me too.
Yay. And thank you to all who showed up to join us. And please reach out and join us on the
Yeah,
Zoom.
I need to you know, coincidence cafe, if you're still in here, it says see y'all later, so I don't know, she may have already left.
Okay.
I would adore a chance to catch up with you, my love, whether it's recorded or not, but I'm pretty sure she has stories to tell.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah.
I love people's stories. That is my favorite thing, is to hear people's stories. So yeah, come share your stories with us.
Yeah, I love that too. All right. Well, till next time, I hope that you will move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you. It really is just a matter of slowing oneself down and seeing if there's another perspective that may have been overlooked. Love you guys.
Much love.